What is up, everybody? Shawn Tubbs with Revvamps. I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to discuss a topic that's kind of around using different guitars. Not only do different guitars inspire different types of playing, but also they are invaluable, at least for me as a session player, when I need to layer tracks. So I'm going to cover that. I'll talk about the guitars that I used. There was that opening piece. It's like a riff. It's only about 30 seconds long. And the parameters I wanted to stay within were I wanted to use 3 guitars. I consider them kind of the trifecta. So Gibson Les Paul, Tele style guitar, Stratocaster. To me, those are kind of the main 3 guitars. So I wanted to use those 3 guitars. I wanted to use 1 amp, which is the G20. And I did not want to change the settings on the amp. That was another thing I just wanted to try and see how it would work, just simply switching guitars. So I'll show you the settings that I used with that amplifier so you know what's going on there. The 3 guitars I used, it started with a whisper. No, it started with a Gibson Les Paul traditional. This one's loaded with Luller pickups. Good sounding guitar. This one inspired the riff. I was kind of in a semi kind of Jimmy Page mode that day. So I started with this on the drive channel on the G20. I didn't employ any of the aggression modes. I just left it in the first setting and it sounded great. So that riff had quite a bit of content there, or I should say information. The next guitar I chose to layer on top of that was a Telecaster, so hang on just a second. Okay, I used a Friedman Tele style guitar. This one's got Friedman pickups in it. Did not change a thing on the amp, just switched guitars. Now the part that I played on this is very, very simple, and it needed to be because there was so much information coming from the Les Paul part. But it ended up sounding really great. So the Les Paul is going to be on the left. This guitar was on the right, still using the drive channel. And then the third guitar I used was a Fender Strat. With this guitar, what I wanted to do was achieve a clean tone. And so all I did was switch to the clean channel on the G20. Keep in mind, I am absolutely running direct and using the embedded 2-notes software. It sounds great. So when I switched to the clean channel, I changed nothing on the front of the amp. I did change cabinets. I switched to a 2x12 cabinet, and I added some top end within the software in the Torpedo embedded. Now, the pickup combination I used was actually the back and the middle. I was kind of going for almost like a Jamie West Orem kind of thing. I don't know if you know who that is. Anyways, we don't need to go into that. But I just really wanted a great, clean sound to layer on the left side. And all these guitars actually sat really well with really not actually touching the amp other than switching to a clean channel for this and adding a little bit of top end in the software. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let you hear each piece soloed up. So that way you can hear, where everything was. On the Les Paul, it's going to be panned about 45% to the left. There is within Pro Tools, I used a delay to create a little bit of a slapback delay that's somewhat subtle. It sounds a lot more prevalent, when it's by itself, but in the track, it's more subtle. So let's listen to that. Okay, the next track is the Tele track. That's about 45% to the right, which never mind. It's going to be your right, even though, anyways, it's on the other side, about 45%. Now that I left alone, there's no delays or reverbs or anything like that. Okay, on to the Fender Stratocaster. Now, that guitar is more to the left side of the mix. The reverb that you're hearing on the guitar is in the embedded software. I actually used that reverb, and then I added a delay. Added the delay in Pro Tools, but I actually panned that to the right side of the mix. So you'll hear that, and once again, it's very prevalent when it's soloed up by itself, but in the mix, it just gives it a bit of a spread. So let's check that out. Okay, cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed showing it to you. As always, I really appreciate you guys checking out the channel, and we'll see you next time.